Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here, looking at WWE FASTLANE 2016. The show just ended. Honestly, I will say that the main event was very good, but I don't think it was good enough to carry the entire show. I found myself at certain points of the show, sort of like with the Edge and Christian, cutting edge peep show, whatever that thing was called, with the New Day, and then with the League of Nations coming out there, and as well as the Social Outcasts. Curtis Axel having a match against R-Truth. I found myself very bored near the end of the show. I think that the AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho was possibly the best match of the night. There definitely was a lot of action in the main event with Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Brock Lesnar. I think that even as of right now, this is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. We really only know one match for WrestleMania 32. I don't know if that's because of the weakness of the roster, but we do know our guaranteed main event is going to be Roman Reigns against Triple H, and I think that probably is the one thing that you need to get locked in before you get anything else going on. Maybe AJ versus Jericho could be a rematch. But just about everything else I'm hoping goes in sort of different directions. The show opened with a 2 out of 3 falls match for the United States Championship, with Kalisto winning, getting 2 falls over Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio sort of gave the first fall to Kalisto, but Kalisto had to earn it via disqualification when Kalisto was hit by a steel chair. But then Kalisto was able to roll up Del Rio and get a very surprise victory. I'm sort of surprised that he really is the United States champion coming out of Fastlane. Just with the fact that Sin Cara is back, and for the past week, Kalisto's been wrestling in tag team action as a part of the Lucha Dragons, and having your United States Championship guy, I know that the belt doesn't really mean all that much when it's not on John Cena, still is a little bit surprising. From there we go to the opening match of the actual pay-per-view, with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks getting the win over Team Bad. Nothing really big to this match. Basically, Tamina tapped out to the Banks statement, and that was it. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks sort of just stood there in the ring and sort of celebrated amongst each other, not really with each other. We'll have to find out. I'm really hoping that we have some sort of a number one contenders match on Raw to figure out who is the true number one contender going into WrestleMania, where Sasha beats Becky. I also wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a 3-way with Becky and Sasha going up against the champion Charlotte. Kevin Owens beat Dolph Ziggler in a singles match. Lots of big spots in this. Lots of ups, lots of downs. Here we are 2 hours later, and I remember the match, but I don't really remember how Owens won. I guess he won with the pop-up powerbomb. The referee got in the way of a super kick. I remember that, and Dolph had to sort of slow down and take care of the ref like a babyface would do. And Owens took advantage, taking his knee out, I believe, and then he hit the powerbomb. Very surprising that Big Show, Kane, and Ryback beat the Wyatts. I guess the Wyatts don't need any momentum going into WrestleMania. WWE sort of looked at it more than likely as, these guys don't really have any momentum at all. So, we're going to put them in a big match, probably with Brock Lesnar, and hopefully the people care about it. Charlotte gets a win over Brie Bella. Brie Bella probably wrestled one of the greatest matches that I've ever seen her. Very, very emotional match with, Brie having her sister out with an injury, and as of right now, Brie Bella's husband, Daniel Bryan, retired from wrestling the week before last. And here she is, put into a number one contenders match with Charlotte, and she had the match in her hands, and it just sort of slipped out. Charlotte was able to reverse a crab into the figure eight, and Charlotte was able to pick up the win. AJ beat Jericho after Jericho was able to get out of the calf crusher, and then he kicked out of the Styles Clash, but the second calf crusher just was too much, and Jericho was forced to tap out, and AJ was able to sort of celebrate. And then Jericho gave him the sign of respect by shaking his hand, even though I was really chanting to kick him in the nuts, and it never really came. I was looking for Jericho to pull the Shawn Michaels move of kicking him in the cans like he did at WrestleMania 19. The cutting edge rated R, whatever the heck that show was called. The New Day came out. They went back and forth. League of Nations came out. I thought they were going to have some sort of a tag match, and it just never really happened. And they just sort of plug my show, and that's really all they were really doing. From there, we go to another match that came out of the middle of nowhere. Much rather would have seen the Dudleys and the Usos, but we see Curtis Axel and the Social Outcast come out and have a match with R-Truth, and Axel gets the win when there's a whole bunch of, just sort of a melee on the outside when Goldust comes down to the ringside. R-Truth blames Goldust for the loss, and I don't know if we're ever going to see these guys wrestle in a tag match. From there we go to Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns gets the win. Sort of surprising, the pinfall that came. I didn't really think that it was going to be the pinfall to end it, but it was. And Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania, and Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar need to find a way to have a match. So that was it. It was a good show. Wasn't great. It was fun. I got bored, and I made it through it.